What's up everyone, welcome back to Miami Miles. My name's Mickey. Today I want to do a thought-provoking experiment with you guys. What if a genie from the heavens, from a magic lamp, came out and said, hey, look, you're allowed to have $1 million, but that $1 million must be spent on the perfect garage. What would you guys do? Look, this is something I've run through my head about 1,000 times. I've spent probably thousands of hours on Auto Trader over the last 15 years trying to figure this out. But I've now compiled my perfect garage. In this video, I'm going to share with you the cars that I would purchase with that $1 million and why my garage is the best possible configuration for me. Anyways, let's get right into it. So I think the first car comes as no surprise, guys, the 991.2 GT3 Touring. I am not shy to say that this is the best car I've ever owned, my favorite car, the most daily usable sports car in existence, with a flat 6 with 500 horsepower that revs to 9,000 RPM, and when you get on it, as it approaches that 9,000 RPM redline, you feel the engine vibrations reach through the chassis, up your spine, into your brain, and give you the best sensations in the entire world. This car is absolutely incredible. Given $1 million, I would buy one of these. But since this car is $234,000, at least mine was, that means that you would be left with, according to my calculations, $766,000. Now that sounds like a tremendous amount of money. But the next car on the list is going to not shock you at all. I would get the 765 LT Spider.
Shocker. Oh, Mickey, you're just getting the cars you're already gonna get.
Yeah, guys, because these are the cars of my dreams. But I feel like in any $1 million garage, you need a Spider. You need a car where you could lower that little window in the back and hear the exhaust resonate against a mountain pass. I love Spiders. And not just that, I love McLaren. Even though I've had my fair share of issues of quality control problems, I love the brand. The LT cars to me are my dream. So what is this car gonna set me back, guys? $420,000. So after buying the 765 LT Spider, how much money do you think I have left? Let's do a little computation. Turns out it's $346,000. So we've got $346,000 still to spend, and in my garage I've got the 911 GT3 Touring and the 765 LT Spider. The garage is looking dope, guys. But here's where it starts getting really interesting, because here's where nostalgia sets in, right? Back when I was 16 years old, Ferrari, the prancing horse, announced what would become my favorite car ever. It was the 430 Scuderia. Oh my goodness, guys, when this car came out, I can't convey to you how in love I was. That 4.3 liter V8 that revs to 8,600 RPM blew my mind. I don't know if you guys have ever heard this car, but when you pull the fuse, I think it's like a little fuse that opens up the flaps in the exhaust, and it may be the loudest car in history. This car transformed me. Why? Because when I was about 18 years old, I went and drove it on track at Exotics Racing in Las Vegas. And this car left such an impression on me. I made a promise to myself that day that I would work as hard as possible to be able to afford that car. Well, turns out with this economy, these cars have risen in price, and now they're right about $229,000. And the spec that I found is $229,995. It's white. It has really low mileage. You can see here on the screen, the car is beautiful. And I know most of you won't resonate with it because it's not from your era, but from my era, it was the Mac Daddy. It was the driving car. It was what is the 765 LT Coupe now. So at this stage, guys, I only have $116,000 left. I really had to dig deep and think what cars I would get with 116 grand. The first car that came to mind, guys, and this is gonna probably shock you and surprise you, is the cts-v wagon. Guys, from 2011 to 2014, they only produced around 517 manual cts-v wagons. The car was so rare because at the time, nobody wanted a manual with a wagon. But as more journalists got a hold of the car, they fell in love, and so did I. What could be better than a car that can handle with 556 horsepower? That's a wagon that you could load up your family, your dogs, probably your entire household because of how long they are. I'm telling you guys, this cts-v wagon is a classic, and because they're so rare, these cars are gonna go parabolic in their price. So I imagine a day, a world where the wagons will be $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, and that's why I want one now. Fortunately today, they're still right around 75 grand, which is super cheap because even a couple years ago when I used to look at them, a lower mileage example would be in the 70s. So I think this is a great investment, and I think it's a car that I could enjoy with my family and I could take on trips, and it would not take away anything in terms of comfort, in terms of convenience, but it would give me everything in terms of speed, in terms of feel. And that's why I'm absolutely in love with the cts-v wagon. All right, guys, so at this stage, I've only got $41,000 left. Let's do a quick recap. So far, to my garage, to my $1 million garage, I've added the GT3 Touring, I've added the 765 LT Spider, I've added the 430 Scuderia, the cts-v wagon, and I've got 41 grand left. Again, guys, this is where my nostalgia kicks in from when I was a teenager. There is no car that provoked in me the feeling of a boy racer than a Lancer Evolution. That's right, guys, Lancer Evolution. Look, this car, most of our wives hate it. But if you've ever driven one or near anything like me, you absolutely loved it. The 2006 Evo 9 MR was, to me, my dream car throughout all of my high school years. I wanted to be able to sit in that car and shift that 5-speed transmission, that 289 horsepower turbo 4-cylinder motor. The thing that I was thinking about and mentally, doing this to myself about was, what if I could take it and upgrade the turbo, upgrade the fuel system, make 500 all-wheel horsepower? As a matter of fact, guys, at some point in my life, I had an opportunity to ride in a 500 all-wheel horsepower Evo, and that experience is, bar none, the most exhilarating thing I've ever felt. Because the Evo experience is completely different than you would anticipate. When you drive a modern car, the power comes on immediately, right? The moment you put your foot down, you feel the surge of the torque. But with the Evo, because the turbos, especially at 500 all-wheel horsepower, are so large, it takes a good 5 to 6 seconds in order for the boost to kick in and in order for you to be kicked back into the seat. And once it does kick in, it's like you have hit warp speed and you have teleported to another dimension. It's an amazing feeling, especially with a car that weighs only like 3,200 pounds. So you get a 3,200 pound rally car with 500 all-wheel horsepower. Obviously, it doesn't have any creature comforts. It's raw. It doesn't have a good radio or a screen. It doesn't have anything. It's just a classic car that you're gonna have a bunch of fun in. But for 35 grand, I don't think that you could find a better car than this. So the total of my 5-car garage is $993,000. I've got around $6,005 left to spend. I would honestly just take that money and utilize it to modify the wagon and the Evo. And thus, there goes my $1 million garage. Guys, I want you guys to tell me what your thoughts are on my garage. Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Do you think I'm too nostalgic? Maybe I'm too caught up in the moment and I just am a fanboy of the existing cars that I've already got. But look, if I'm wrong, that's okay. I want you guys to give me your opinion. What would your hypothetical $1 million garage look like? What cars would you have? What would you leave out? What do you disagree with me on? What do you agree with me on? Anyways, guys, leave your comments down below. Apart from that, guys, give me a big thumbs up. Give me a subscribe to the channel. I'm going to try to pop out content like this every single day. Anyways, I hope that you have a great day. Take care.